Good afternoon, everyone. We'll be starting the program in just a few minutes, so if you would like to please take your seats. We are live from City Hall. How's everyone doing? Thank you. I'm really excited because it's 50 years of hip hop, so, especially, we got some Bronx love over here. So, my name is Rafael Tamayo, manager of the Oakland Cultural Center. We are a division of the City of Dallas Office of Arts and Culture. And I am so excited about today. And our director had mentioned something about Commissioner Hornbuckle coming out and hearing Biggie Smalls, at City Hall. And it's a lovely day. That kind of sends a message of how long the culture has come, but how young it is. And so we're really happy to be able to put a program together that's been happening all of August. I want to give some really cool shout outs to some wonderful people that have made some amazing work happen. Our cultural programs coordinator, Andrea Tostin, who was in the back. She's about 5 or 6 months with the Cultural Center, but this is a testament of the hard work that she's been doing over the past several months to make sure that the City of Dallas properly celebrates 50 years of hip hop culture. So big shout out to Andrea, and I know our intern, Melanie Rodriguez, is around here somewhere. The City of Dallas has a wonderful intern program, Melanie, so they've been doing a lot of work in making sure that we put all this together. Also, a big shout out to everyone else. I know we listed some thank yous, but throughout the program we'll be making some acknowledgements because this is such a grand celebration. There was a lot of people involved in making sure that all of this came together in the fashion that it deserves. So thank you. So while we get the program started, I'd like to introduce the director of the Office of Arts and Culture, Martina Lee.
Hey. I'm so thrilled and honored to work for a city that would allow us to throw such a celebration to commemorate the 50th anniversary of hip-hop culture. As the director of the Office of Arts and Culture, it's important to me to ensure that everyone who contributes to the fabric of our community is recognized, and we know that the artists who work specifically under that umbrella of hip-hop culture have made very significant contributions to the city of Dallas. I want you to be sure to engage with the visual art that we have on display. I hope that you'll enjoy our performing artists who will be breakdancing later today. I hope that you learn something from the panelists that are going to share their perspectives about the impact of hip-hop culture today. I want to acknowledge our city management, beginning with the city manager here, T.C. Max, and our assistant city managers who are speckled throughout the room. I see Assistant City Manager Liz Cedillo Pereira here in the front, and I know that the other two is hiding in the crowd. Are you guys going to have a surprise performance? Assistant City Manager Pereira. I saw Manager earlier as well. It means a lot for our city leaders to be here in support of what we're doing here today. Somebody expressed that we're making history by playing Biggie Smalls in Dallas City Hall's lobby, and that means a lot to me as a native New Yorker to be able to bring a little taste of what I grew up with here to the city of Dallas. Thank you each and every one of you residents and visitors who are here sharing in this fellowship with us. So I want to acknowledge our Arts and Culture Advisory Commissioners who attended, Jesse Hornbuckle there in the back, Commissioner Smalls and Commissioner Meek. Thank you for your support and guidance through our office. Again, this is a party. I'm always here to celebrate what makes this city great, and I look forward to what we'll have here together during this celebration. I'm going to pass the mic back to Rafael, and thank you for the heavy lifting you did to get this party started.
So yes, thank you. And on that note, let's get this party started. Again, I didn't acknowledge one of our other intern staff on, Chattery, who set up the entire sound system. Thank you. Yes, so again, I expressed how excited I am. I think a lot of us are happily exhausted because, again, this was a gargantuan project to put together, but we were excited about the people that we were talking to, hoping to get some people to come out and perform and do things like that. So our next performer is someone that I grew up inspired by and watched him perform. He's a scholar, he's an MC. He founded the Hip Hop Crew Up Educational Agency. He is now doing amazing things in Austin, Texas, but I know some of my Rock Solid family was saying, man, say Babu's from Garland. Babu's from North Texas. But I know you have roots all over the place, and so please help me in welcoming the one and only Babu Blakes.
Hey, this ain't rapping, this is scholarship. Part MC, part anthropologist. All that time I spent in the game, I can't apologize, because my field work opened up a lot of eyes, a lot of ears, a lot of minds, wrote a lot of lines without a lot of dollar signs. Now to organize all that I'm left with to finally get a return on my investment. Hindsight is a fresh squeeze refreshment. If I only knew what I do now as a freshman. No regrets since now I got direction. In other words, lectures in session. And as he said, as a North Texan, somebody who grew up in Garland off of Arapahoe, somebody who heard elevators for the first time, driving from an internship to Dallas Morning News to this exact spot right in front of this building in 1996. This is a high honor to be here. I spoke in Buffalo at the Teaching Black History Hip Hop Turns 50 Conference, July 21st. This is a higher honor than that, because I'm at home. And I have friends and family and people I grew up with and do my whole life who are here. This is a major deal, and as a first generation hip hopper, you know hip hop grew up when you come to City Hall and the DJ is the tall, beautiful daughter of the tall, beautiful DJ that we all had a crush on growing up back in the day. So hands together for DJ Christy Ray. How do you feel about what I have to say about you? What does that make you want to do? What you gonna do? What you got? What you gonna do?
Are you ready?
Turn that up, turn that up, turn that up. Alright, hip hop, right? We're gonna sit down like we're at a museum, we're gonna stand up and clap and get to the beat. What y'all wanna do? What y'all wanna do? Clap your hands, y'all. When I say create, when I say hustle, create, I ain't trying to be the root of all the flow, none of the root, all love, but no laughter after I recruit. This is all about balance. I bring that with my sound. There ain't no more than 1 or 2 rap stars from my town. Wanna make break records with tight beats, but after I eat though, follow me, living not solemnly, scholarly on the level my father me, comfy. What if I never do that? Cause I hustle and do that. You can't classify something spiritual, it ain't underground. It is just lyrical. I ain't gonna act dumb as hell. Hit a hit, I will have freaking sales in a little bit if you're reading right. I got something going like broadcast and live news, non-like car type, goes beyond type, like different dimensions. It'll be known whenever my name's mentioned. Hey, I'm trying to get your courage, even as an artist, no right. I just want you to go back to the land and return title live. Who? Just pronounce it. B-A-H-B-O-O. You got it? Let's go old school. Let me say, go. Hey, words elaborate like artwork on all access laminates. Rappers say they ready for war, but they turn pacifists. Somebody must have told you don't sound like this, so I guess I gotta break it down right quick. I don't mind taking my spare time to tell you, damn near sound like last year's bestseller. You're trendy or something, you're supposed to be hot. I can't believe you sucky record label name was shot. I'm sharp as a double-edged bag of polish with no handles, but you desire to touch it, it ain't your budget. City Hall, y'all make a little noise in the crowd right now. Listen how nice the people sound, got a nice grip lock, keeping it warm like Titan head, sheep shield and socks. Say I don't rock, don't say psych, and watch lightning strike and turn the line to your own mind twice. I guess your courage need to as an artist, no way. I just want you to go back to the lab and return right. Who? Pronounce that B-A-H-B-O-O. You got it? Alright, let's go. So, was that hip hop or rap?
Hip hop.
Oh yeah? What y'all think? Was that hip hop or rap? I'm only asking that trick question to bring in a ridiculous argument. It's like arguing about writing or pencils. We know rap is a form of music, right? And it's part of hip hop culture, right? People argue about hip hop or rap. They're trying to make themselves sound right, or maybe self-righteous, right? Another ridiculous thing is talk about hip hop as rap. All this 50 years of hip hop celebration, I look at the cover of Men's Health. It's all MCs. So tell me this, what year was 50 years ago? So what rap song was out 50 years ago? Rapper's Delight was not out 50 years ago. So I'm asking you again, because we talk about hip hop versus rap, trash, absurd, that's asinine. And we talk about hip hop as rap, and we say hip hop 50, and all we see is rappers. So what rapper was out 50 years ago? What's the answer? None. So I figured I might want to show up and do a little framing, because we have very common levels of misunderstanding, and we're rolling with something that's just not true. And as the ancient proverb says, till the lion writes history, the hunter will be the hero. The hero, somebody who's not for me, can never correctly tell my story, right? So we're watching people right in front of our eyes tell a story falsely, and we're going along with it. It's not 50 years of rap. There were no rappers out 50 years ago at all. None. And that begs the question of, then, what's hip hop? And if you have somebody who knows a few things, you know, they'll tell you, okay, there's 4, maybe 5 elements, right? DJing, b-boying, MCing, graffiti. The 5th is debatable. Some would say knowledge of self. I would say community. Because I would say it's very much place-based. And I would say that it's very easy to find where hip-hop comes from. Just look across the tracks. Look at the place they ran the highway through. Look at the place where you gotta know where the community used to be, because it's not there anymore and there's no signs of it, it's erased, it's gone. But if you know, then you know where it was. Y'all hear me? That's where you'll find this. In a designated slice of this whole colonial project, this whole social structure, there is a specific designated slice of society where you will find hip hop. It's not at City Hall, but it's beautiful that right now it's in City Hall. Well represented. And it's creative too, because I was over here looking at this and it said, OJ, like, I'm not black, I'm OJ, okay. And then the quote was from J-Bo. I was like, who is J-Bo? And I was like, wait a minute, let me think. Okay, that is a Sambo of Jay-Z, that's who J-Bo is. So sometimes you gotta figure it out, because there's all this reinvention. Grandmaster Caz said hip-hop didn't invent anything, hip-hop reinvented everything. How ironic he said that when he's a guy whose former manager stole his rhymes and used them to pose as an MC in the first popular rap song. He named it earlier, what was it called? Rapper's Delight. He stole Caz's rhymes, posed as a rapper, and left Caz's name in it. But hey, no. There you go, the CAS Union. And so, nonetheless, he did kind of reinvent everything, and it was a very necessary thing that happened. But it's funny that Caz said, didn't invent anything, reinvented everything. And that happened to him, maybe in the worst possible way. So we have these 5 elements, if you will. And again, the 5th, some would say knowledge of self, some would say beatboxing, but I would say community, because it's very place-based, it's very people-based. There's a very specific part of society that hip-hop comes from. And what I'm working towards is, well then, what is hip-hop? If it's not hip-hop versus rap, and it's not hip-hop as rap, because that's too reductive. And if you can't tell, this culture is very special to me, because I'm kind of up here arguing for it and fighting for it, trying to set the record straight and get it clear. And I think that's why they call me. I don't think it's because I can rap. I don't know. But as a scholar MC, somebody who MCs with the mind of a scholar with the mind of an MC, the way I would frame it would be like this. Let's all spell America together at this pace. Ready, set, spell it. A-M-E-R. And if you try to take race out of America, what do you have left? Let's take the A, we need that. M, we need that in there. E, we need that for race. Okay, R, we need that. Okay, I, leave that in there. Okay, C, we need that. A, what's left? M, I, A. What's that mean? So either America's missing in action without race, or race has been uniquely, in terms of the way we've experienced it, race has been uniquely made in America. And if we put a camera on the bottom of our skycopter and we fly over the last 500 years of races in this place, we see the same results in the race over and over again, don't we? In first place, a lot of white or pink or whatever, and a lot of green. Every race, every time. First place, first place. Last place, deep blackness, way less green. And in the middle, as we move from that predictable last place to that predictable first place in the race that's run over and over again, 500 years. Side note, 500 years is not a lot of time in human history. Side note, 50 years of hip hop is way less in human history. But when we look at those predictable races, the way they're run, the way it's designed, the way it's constructed, and we see the same results over and over again, we're flying over the track and we see it, right? We also notice that in the middle there's kind of a fade from that predictable last place to that predictable first place. It kind of gets, through the browns to the cafes to the tan. You know how it goes, right? Am I making this up? And so there's this predictable kind of structure that puts certain people in the last place with a little green, and first place with a lot of green. And there's this concept of hip hop as something from nothing. Have y'all heard that? Well, let's be honest and scientific and just stand on the fact that you can't create something from nothing, can you? So we need to stop that too. What about this voice from the voiceless? You heard that one? We need to stop that too. Do I sound like I have no voice? Do I sound like hip hop to you? So I'm not voiceless just because I'm low in the mix. I'm not voiceless because I'm decentered. I'm not voiceless because I'm saying something that maybe the powers that be don't want to hear, or they don't want anybody else to hear it. I've been voiced. I've always had a voice. But what's funny is if you look at that race, you see the people in first place begin to turn around and maybe I can use this green as money and invest and exploit the nothing, which is valuable, but it's nothing. Or maybe that green is envious in terms of, you know what, I'd like to kind of clone or copy or, take that thing for myself and use it, because that's never happened, right? We've never seen that happen. Even if you reduce it to music and we're talking about rock and roll or the blues or jazz, that never happens, does it? So I would say that hip hop is very much a spirit of eternal excellence, a spirit. Imagine tens of thousands of years of black history that walked up, got in your face, demanded engagement, and had things to say that were lovely, things to say that were ugly, things to say that were embarrassing to you, like all the noise. That's what hip hop is to me. It's something that shows up and demands engagement, demands discussion, says things whether you like it or not. You ain't trying to hear it, but it's gonna be heard. 50 years later, the reason they say it's surprising to hear Biggie in City Hall is because it wasn't supposed to be. It's not set up to where that voice is supposed to be prominent and dominant. So the story that I feel that we really need to understand here is the story of how hip hop grew up. Y'all willing to listen to that story? It's pleasant, it's kind of like a children's story. Y'all tucked in? Here we go. Most hip-hop artists never sell 1 million copies and make a long-term profit. Unless they die young, hip-hop practitioners blend into society and may not even mention how they used to DJ, produce, rap, promote, write, or design. A few of them work in the entertainment industry, very few. All of them grow up. Most first-generation hip-hop lovers don't make it out to concerts anymore. Some still buy music to intentionally support the artists that help shape their lives. Others have moved on, disconnected from the scene, the radio, the streets, and whatever else the kids are into. Our views about hip-hop tend to be retrospective as we grow up. Born in the early 1970s to a single mother named Urban United States Culture, hip-hop set trends for its local communities, forcing the film and music industry to take risks in order to capitalize on this emergent wonder. Y'all with me? Corporate America's entertainment, marketing, and advertising industries invested millions of dollars in hip-hop, just long enough to become its stepfather. The relationship with corporate America took hip-hop from being dismissed as a fad or some type of illegitimate child to making a global cultural impact and billions of dollars before it even turned 21 years old. The boom eventually knocked the training wheels off of hip-hop's bike. Then finally, Stepdaddy said, "Son, you're maturing and making money. It's time to get out of the house. You're an adult now." With major label budgets shrinking since the turn of the century, while big commerce is constantly co-opting and cloned hip-hop's cultural aesthetics and assets, hip-hop's been forced to once again fend for itself and innovate. No longer housed comfortably in corporate boardrooms, it had to remember where it came from and get back to its independent underground roots. As hip-hop embraces the grind and willfully flourishes worldwide, Stepdaddy inevitably calls to say, "I'm proud of you, son. Let's get together and break bread." Hip-hop's usually willing to make a deal, preferably a partnership or a joint venture. But realistically, it no longer needs corporate America's cosign to survive. Now an agile, permeating fixture, hip-hop can no longer be mistaken for a mere urban musical phenomenon, not even by a casual observer, y'all. The culture has expanded, the evidence is overwhelming. Hip-hop grew up and has offspring all over the planet. You want me to prove it? Hip-hop's impact on literature, film, fashion, and language was impressive 30 years ago. Since then, it's evolved to include countless genres of music, art, and expression. College courses taught by hip-hop professors, churches run by hip-hop pastors, cities with hip-hop mayors, hip-hop architects, hip-hop museums, hip-hop 50 celebrations in city hall in major cities. Even if we confine the subtext to just mainstream rappers, once Weezy's in his 40s, Marshall's in his 50s, and middle America knows exactly who I'm talking about, it's inevitable that hip-hop grew up. That's what we need to understand about hip-hop. And in that story, hip-hop is personified. So the first major question we should be contended with is, how is hip-hop enduring through its 40s and as of tomorrow, entering its 50s? Second question moves from personification to the first generation. Those of us who grew up on that ascent, emergence, dominance, right? How do we renegotiate our relationship with the culture as we grew up? Because you're not going to do the exact same things once you're responsible for biological children or kids are around. You're going to play a different version of that song, ain't you? I heard it earlier. It was Big Daddy Kane. He was like, "When the pen hits the paper, aw-ish." I heard that aw-ish. So there's a renegotiation that happens. And the third question comes back to us, the hip-hop generation, who you've noticed is now in all the decision-making positions all across all these sectors, all over society. And that third question is, how do we leverage our resources for today's generation? So that is hip-hop grew up. And I hope that will frame the event as we move through today's events. I just want to say that I'm so happy. It's like Prince Akeem. I'm very happy to be here. And that I love hip-hop. And I just want to shut this thing down with one final verse called "Somebody Loves You." This is my track. I ain't selling no trim, no flesh, no skin. Check out my melody and no deals, no fees, but upstream I swim. I don't need a hook in my mouth. Out the side of the begins. Which side of the south? The same get what I get out of this without no settling. Life moves in cycles and you backpedaling. What can I do with that? Ain't my bad for nothing. It's none of my business, is it? Good question. Now how would I change my direction? I got upset with that speck in your eye. Got my idea and made my suggestion, but I learned my lesson. I got my own wishes for investigation. It's private. I can't guess because I've been so anxious. A little bit of faith and I thank them. Know that I deserve a good spanking. Relationship tanking. Then came in a savior. Another day. Paradise goes and say it. Better not be playing. I need some home training. If I'm going to be in a real life kingdom and I'm going to see you. You know how human I'm being. Excalibur fleeting, greater glory I keep seeking. Make a donation though, ain't no cure. Who do you love? Are you sure? Come on, let's.
One more time for Mr. Bob Blaze, please. And I'd like to invite our panelists and moderators, our moderator for the central impact of hip-hop discussion. And while we get our panelists up here, we'll let Christy Ray do her thing for a few minutes. All right, folks, we're going to keep this show moving. If you would please take your seats. I will quickly get out of the way, but please join me in welcoming our moderator for the panel discussion on the social impact of hip-hop, Jess Washington.
years of hip hop, and we can't speak enough, obviously, but we only have a little bit of time, so I want everybody to be able to definitely talk about the impact of hip hop. Too close. The impact of hip hop on their lives. So, Jerry, I'll start with you. Can you tell me, first of all, can you tell us who you are? And then also tell us how hip hop has directly affected your everyday life.
For sure. That's the song. Check. MCs don't need the mic, but I can do that. Check. There we go. All right. How y'all doing out there? All right. My name is Jerry Hawkins. I'm Executive Director of Dallas Truth, Racial Healing and Transformation. But some people in my life may know me as Jerry G. I used to be a signed MC. I had a record contract with a record label from St. Louis called F5 Records. Also been DJ Jerry G as well. So hip hop impacts my life on a second-to-second, a cellular level basis because it is a culture. It is a way of life, and I literally think of hip hop all the time. My kids know the music I listen to. They know the fashion. Hip hop. I was just in St. Louis, y'all. In St. Louis Airport, they have a new slogan. You know what it is? It says, "Every day we hustling." And so I'm saying, hip hop just impacts so many lives. It is the largest music group right now. It is impacting culture, food, everything. So yes, every day of my life, every second.
What up, everybody? My name is DJ Leo J. Leo J. I'm an MC, producer, event organizer, coordinator. I've been very lucky to hold some educational programs at the University of North Texas, Dallas County Community Colleges, Paul Quinn Community College, the University of North Texas, Dallas, as well as I produced the 2014 International We From Dallas, a documentary on the history of Dallas hip hop. It's actually free and it's on YouTube. If you get a chance, check it out. We start from basically the late 70s, covering people like DJ Uche, Nippy Jones, Dr. Rock, and then kind of go from there. But yeah, I've been involved with Dallas hip hop culture for the last 23 years of my life. It affects me every day. I live and breathe hip hop. I currently run an organization called Battlegrounds, where we host dance battles throughout the Metroplex, and partnerships with different brands like the City of Dallas. I've also had a chance to experience hip hop through the people, and I think a lot of times we try to figure out an identity of what Dallas is and what our sound or what we've contributed. And I really look to the people and how they interact and engage with everybody and how they express themselves. And for me, being in a room full of people that can smile and everybody can get down while the beat's rocking on the floor, DJ's going, riders on the floor, on the wall. It just means everything to me. This culture means everything. I live by it. I'll continue to live by it. And yeah, I'll do my part. So that's what it is.
Hey y'all, my name is Robert Tinajero. I'm a professor of English and rhetoric at UNT Dallas. I teach classes on writing, and I teach a class called Hip Hop Rhetoric. I guess hip hop connects with my life on a regular basis in a few ways. The first way is just, I really love writing and language and wordplay, and so that's what I connect the most to with hip hop. And it just expands my mind with metaphors and imagery, and I'm able to teach some of that to my students. So that's one level. Another level is when I teach my class, Hip Hop Rhetoric. We analyze and discuss various social issues through the lens of hip hop. And so when I'm listening to music, I'm not just enjoying it, but I'm also thinking about how can I use this in the class to talk about various social issues, and so I really love doing that. And then the last level is kind of something new for me in the last 6 years when I started having kids. And so it's something I never really had to think a lot about before, but now I do, thinking about the positives and some of the negatives, right, of the music, and thinking about my 6-year-old and what do I want to teach them about hip hop, what do I want them to listen to, what are the things that they're not ready to hear yet also, and thinking about that as well. So that's how it's connected to me.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. So I wanted to bring it home for a second and talk specifically about Dallas. And so if you guys don't know, we have a lot of great artists that have come from the city, like DOC. We got Darrell, who's one of the only artists, hip hop artists that has an NFL and an NBA deal specifically with the Cowboys and the Mavericks. And suffice to say, we even have Vanilla Ice, who is also from Dallas, Texas, but he made a global impact, you know, with his music. So I wanted to ask if you guys have any Dallas-based artists that you guys are looking at and that you follow and admire.
Man, you know, and Dallas has a very important blues tradition. And so I think Muddy Waters is an example of that blues tradition in Dallas. But, you know, my favorite Dallas artist is Big Tuck. You know, when I was moving to Dallas, I used to go to the Prophet Bar for open mic because I was looking for a place to continue my MC